Hello and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syahirah Binti Muhammad Nur, and I will be presenting about one of my subtopic, managing classroom, which is why classroom need to be managed effectively. Okay, so in this video, I will be talking about the 5 main points in this topic, which are management issues in elementary and secondary school classrooms. Second, the crowded, complex, and potentially chaotic classroom. Thirdly is getting off to the right start. Next is emphasizing instruction and positive classroom environment. And the lastly one is management goals and strategies. Okay, firstly, management issues in elementary and secondary school classrooms. Okay, in many elementary school, teachers face the challenge of managing the same 20 to 25 children for the entire day. Second, in the middle and high schools, teachers face the challenge of managing 5 or 6 different groups of 20 to 25 adolescents for about 50 minutes each day. And the elementary school students spend much more time with the same students in the small space of a single classroom, and having to interact with the same people all day can breed feelings of confinement and boredom and others problems. Okay, next is the crowded, complex, and potentially chaotic classrooms. Okay, so way teachers can succeed with overcrowded classes. Okay, teachers in an overcrowded classroom must be exceptionally organized. They have to be well prepared every day. They must develop a fluid system through trial and error to maximize the time they have with their students. Teachers can generate solutions for overcrowded classrooms by creating energetic and engaging lessons. Okay, every lesson must be enticing, energetic, and fun. It is easy for students in any class to be direct, distract, and lose interest, but this is especially true in a large classrooms. Lessons must be fast-paced, unique, and full of attention grabbers. Second is tutoring struggling students who need more time after school. There simply is not enough to provide struggling students with the one-on-one time that they need. Tutoring these students 2 to 3 times a week after school gives them a better shot at being successful. Next is assigning seats and rotating when necessary. With a large class, teachers must be structured, and this starts with strategically placed assigned seats. Students who are low academically and or are behavior issues should be assigned seats towards the front. Students who are high academically and or are well behaved should be provided seats towards the back. And next is understanding that the dynamics in an overcrowded classroom will be different. Okay, it is essential that teachers understand that there are significant difference in a classroom of 20 students compared to classroom of 30 or 40. Teachers have no control over how many students are in their classes, so they cannot allow themselves to become stressed due to things that are out of their control. Teachers should understand that they are not going to be able to spend time with each student every day. They should understand that they will not get to know each student on a personal level. that is simply the reality in an overcrowded classroom. And lastly, structure is very important in any classroom, but especially so in a classroom with lots of students. Teachers need to establish clear rules and expectations on day one, and then follow through as the year progresses. Clear students know what they are required to do and when, especially an overcrowded one. Next is getting off to the right start. Okay, firstly, we need to establish behavioral expectations and address student uncertainties. Second, ensure students experience success. Next is be available and visible. And the lastly is be in charge in the classrooms. The last one is management goals and strategies. Okay, ways to create a positive classroom environment. Okay, firstly is build a positive relationships. Building positive relationships with your students helps them feel as though that they can come to you with questions on assignments or when they are facing a challenge. Many of them may appreciate knowing they have someone they can trust and to whom they can confide. You can build a rapport with your students by taking time to interact with them individually, listening to their comments or concerns and showing enthusiasm when they come to you and share their experience and stories. Then arrange the physical environment. Okay, the physical environment of a classroom provides a structure for students, which can decrease stress level and help them feel more comfortable in class. Consider organizing your classroom by assigning seats to students. Establish routines for passing out and collecting work and ensuring all desks face the front of the room so they can see the board. Another important aspect of the physical environment is the classroom aesthetic. You may add some extra soft lighting, hang some paintings or photos, and add some of your own personal flair to your room. Students may be able to get a better understanding of your personality or preference based on the visuals in your classroom, and you can set the tone based on your classroom decor. Next is set high academic expectations. It is important to set high academic expectations for your students early in the school year. Explain your expectation by letting them know you are going to do your best to help them learn and are always available if they need assistance. But in return, you expect them to do their best on their work. It is beneficially to elaborate on your grading policy so they understand what you permit in terms of grading. For example, you can tell them if you allow them to redo tests if they didn't do well the first time, or how much time you permit them to turn in late work. Next is teachers must be there for them. A simple yet effective component of creating a positive classroom environment is to provide support for your students when they need it. Some students face academic challenges or need someone to talk to about a personal situation they are handling at home, which these students often appreciate having someone they can trust listen to them and give advice when appropriate. It raises many students to know they have someone that listens to them and comforts them. We also can give students a voice and a choice. When students feel their opinion matters, they are more likely to share during class discussions. Promoting student empowerment begins with providing opportunities for students to share their opinions, take risks, and decide how to learn the best. This builds self-confidence, which supports a more positive learning environment. Student-centered learning focus on allowing learners to share in class decisions and give them more opportunities to learn in a way that feels more comfortable to them. Offering them more choice in how they learn helps them to be involved in decisions that impact their learning. If they feel that their input matters, they may seem more connected and put in greater effort into their classwork. Okay. We also can create rules and expectations. Setting guidelines such as classroom rules and expectation is an important way to let students know what's acceptable behavior. If your students are old enough, you may consider letting them discuss one or two rules they want to add to the classroom rules so they feel they have input on an important aspect of your class. Setting expectations helps maintain the daily structure of your classroom and can aid significantly with classroom management. When students know that you intend to follow through with consequence if they disobey your rules and expectations, they tend to behave more positively. And lastly is provide flexibility. While it is beneficial to provide students with routines and procedures, it is important to know when to be flexible with your expectations. Adjusting your expectations to each situation that arises gives students the opportunity to see that you can encounter challenging situations and provide them and yourself with flexibility if needed. You can be flexible during unexpected situations such as when a student has a crisis and need to use their phone to call a parent in case of a fire drill, or if you need to revise a rule for one class because it doesn't apply to their behavior. In conclusion, making sure that you state rules clearly and going through procedures daily helps minimize disruptions and chaos. Setting rewards system that focus both effort and success encourage students to follow rules and promote self-regulation to help them to make better choice and be more productive. That's all for me. Thank you for watching.
Your t-shirts and your pencils out, so I'll call you by rows to come to the carpet. It looks like row 2 is ready. We don't need to bring our t-shirts, just your bodies. Looks like row 4 is ready. And row 1. And row 3. Awesome job, 3rd graders. Thank you for coming to the carpet so quietly. So yesterday we learned about pushes and pulls. Think to yourself, what is a push? Turn and talk to your neighbor. How would you define a push? 3, 2,
It's you using your hands
1.
to push something forward.
Raise your hand if you want to describe the definition of a push. Kaya. You're moving something away from you. Think to yourself, what is a pull? How could you define a pole? Turn and talk to your neighbor. 3, 2, 1. Raise your hand if you can describe the definition of a pole. Isaac?
Like grabbing something and not like taking it to you.
Yep, can anyone else describe it in another way, Peyton?
Like pulling it towards.
Pulling it towards you. Everyone do that? Pulling it towards you. Now, I would love to see what rows are ready. The blue rows ready. I'm going to call you by rows and you're going to go back to your desk and grab a slate, a marker, and an eraser. A what?
Slate, a marker, and eraser.
Whisper it. Slate, a marker, and an eraser. Purple row, you can go back. Blue row, you can tiptoe back. And green row, you can do your bunny hops back. Yep. A slate, a marker, and an eraser, and come back to the carpet, please. Thank you, Peyton. Good job, Kevin and Ellery. Awesome, awesome, awesome. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.